lecturer in 3 different universities, and he decided to quit and become a goat farmer. See, I have questions that I ask everyone that I meet. Don't hear me. Are you sure you're okay? I'm so glad I decided to go on this journey, because every single African that I meet along the way to make it in Africa, she has done it. And I know and believe that you can also do it too. I believe that her story might inspire so many university lecturers. And I'm thinking, if we get our university lecturers out of university, who's going to teach us then?
I'm Grace Boji, a full-time farmer of goats, matoke and sheep, based here in Rakai, Central Uganda. Basically what we do, we are majorly into breeding goats and breeding sheep. We also do the importation. We also offer trainings to farmers out there.
Believe me or not, this is the most beautiful thing I've seen since I came to Uganda.
Thank you.
How does that make you feel?
I feel happy as well.
Seeing all these goats, sheep, cows around you, waking up to them every morning.
It's a beautiful scenery. I love it. That is more reason as to why I left Kampala to come here and do it full time, because I love it.
You're living 6 hours away from Kampala. You don't like the city life?
City life bores me actually. I always...
No. You mean you chose goat farming over lecturing in a university?
I was very sober when I made this decision, and I don't regret it. And I would advise anyone out there who wants to live office life, they're always welcome to come, and I advise them. Basically, I'm one kind of person who loves experimenting, exploring, creativity. I'm hands-on. I hate doing the same thing over and over again. You get it? Here, when you're on a farm, you always experience challenges. You're always creating new solutions. The money was good, but it was not as good as the money I get from good farming, because it's I get from several income streams of several incomes.
Are you saying being a goat farmer worth more than being a lecturer in 3 universities?
Obviously, in the first 2 years it was not easy because I was just starting. But after I established myself, I did the groundwork. I did the branding, the marketing, because I do most of my marketing on social media. Things started falling into play, and I never regretted. The money I'm earning here is 3 times more than what I was earning as a university lecturer. And on top of that, on top of the pressure of, you have not taught here, you must teach here, you must mark examination scripts, you must do this and this. So I quit from one university to the other, and then I came for this.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for 8 years now.
8 years?
Yeah, 8 years. I've been doing it for 8 years. And it's quite a journey, a very interesting journey, full of ups and downs, but I don't regret. And I'm never quitting.
How many acres do you have right now?
We farm on around 200 acres of land. But this is family land. This is not my land personally. We farm on family land.
What do you mean by family land?
This is my daddy's land, my father's land.
Okay.
I requested him, can I use part of your land, because he had cows on. And his first instinct was, he gave me all sorts of risks. The goats will be stolen, you'll not manage staying in the bushes, they will disturb you, you may end up being raped, all sorts of things for a girl child. I told him, you know what, Dad, let me try it out. If I fail, I'll come back to you. So every year that passed, I kept improving, every year. So every time he comes here, he would say, oh my God.
How did it start? Your father gave you the land, and then from there?
Okay, how I started, you can imagine, even after teaching in 3 universities, I didn't have the capital to start. The money never used to come on time. No, the money never used to come on time. They would only pay us when we are about to strike, like most university lecturers. We are about to strike, then they give us a little bit of the money, and then you pay your rent, you pay for food, fees, and what. I'm like, no, I can't continue doing something like that. Wow. So I said I quit. So when I started, I got a friend who is a farmer, who is already an established farmer. He loaned me 5 million. 5 million, that is roughly like $1,200.
Okay.
He loaned me that money. I started with 30 goats. And then I also got a few males. I started with, you'll see the makeshift house, that I didn't have enough money, that even the timber, some of the timber, I would nail it myself to cut on the cost of building that house. And I started with that. And what made me so famous that everybody wanted to know, I'm a lady, everybody wanted to know how I make it. Because most people come in, even the men come in, and they fail on this. And like, how does she do it? Why does she make it feel appear so easy, yet it's not so easy? So that is the kind of thing I wanted to bring out. So what I started doing, when everybody thought that farming is hard, I would go out and do the research. Because I was a former lecturer. I make simple templates. To my shock, up to now, those simple templates I used to make short notes, and I give them on people on WhatsApp, on Facebook. People still use them up to now. But I was also green about goats. I was totally green. But I would do my research, give out the rest, and eventually I became an expert on goat farming. That is how I am now.
Does it mean that you had a passion for goat farming?
I had a passion for farming because we grew up as farmers. My dad used to get all the money. He used to pay our school fees in advance, a year in advance. He would come here, sell a few cows, give each one their pay slip, they go to the bank and they bank the money a full year in advance. And that's, I'm like, if he can do it with his little salary, because he's a surveyor, he's a retired surveyor, he was earning very little. If he can pay for all of us, the 8 of us in advance, then farming, there's really something.
But we are living in a continent where we don't see farming for elites. We see farming for poor people.
Exactly.
I mean, you used to be a lecturer, now you're a full-time goat farmer. I mean, if you should say something to change the mindset of young Africans out there, or Africans in general, what would that be?
Okay. We as Africans, we should change the narrative about farming. It is us, not anybody else, to change. Like, I've come out and I'm passionate about goat farming, and I'm great at goat farming. Somebody else there, like Daniel, is good at chicken, poultry farming, you get it? Anybody out there, what I should tell all Africans out there watching me, farming, you can never go wrong in farming. Obviously, the first 2 years may not be easy because you're still grumbling, you are struggling with little resources. But with time, every time you repeat something, consistency, you always earn out of that thing. So farming is our gold mine in Africa, but most Africans don't know that. They run to the city, they rush to go to the Asian countries to go and look for work. Our gold is here. Actually, I feel bad when I see people selling land to go in the cities. But like I said, not everybody is passionate. You know, this kind of business requires somebody who is passionate. That when there are losses, you still continue going. When there is, when you have got something, you still, every time it is they always need something to keep you going.
What else you don't have in here? Because I've seen matoke, it's like you...
Basically, our idea here, we want to make this an agro-tourism kind of farm, and where farmers come to get all the information they need about something, about livestock. We are into Borani cows, we are into local goats, we are into Boer goats, like you're saying. We're also trying to start sheep farming. And why we started the sheep, they are low maintenance. We have the grass and they don't require a lot of capital. Basically, as soon as you buy them. The only maintenance we incur there, it is for deworming them and also for the person who herds them. There is nothing else. So it is a small cost, and they give us good money. And the reason as to why most farmers are going for sheep farming, reason being, farmers are failing to grow the numbers in goats because of the high mortality. So there in Uganda, like you have seen, you not see anywhere where there is a butcher for mutton, but the mutton still goes. People sell it, it still goes. There is no butcher that you go to a specific place and say, I want mutton. It's not there. But the market for the sheep is quite growing. It is growing all day long.
If farming was used to punish us, even in schools, does it mean that there's something wrong with our education system?
There is something.
You used to be a lecturer yourself.
Yeah. There is something wrong with our education system. Reason being that it is affecting us in one way or the other. One, when we are in school, What they do in our schools, they pump our children with a lot of theory. A lot of theory. How do you teach somebody something European history? It's not helping us here as Africans. Let's start by learning what makes us special as Africans. Let us start by learning what makes us tick as Africans. You get it? Most of these things I'm doing here, they are not out of that I've not copied them from the Bazungus out there, the whites out there. No, this is African setting. Simple, simple, simple. Any African out there can make it. But when we grew up, when we were young, the baddest and the thing that used to make most Africans hate farming, they would beat us. They would beat us. They would punish us. When they are punishing you, they punish you and they give you a slasher to gun slash. They punish you, they give you a chunk of land to dig. So most people grew up hating farming, hating agriculture. Agriculture is not meant to be dirty. You can see my hands are clean. You get it? One can get money out of there. Farming, you can work at your own pace. Farming, you open up your mind, the creativity, the innovativeness. You always read something. If it is in the US out there, you have seen it. Why can't I apply it here? Why can't I use it? And Africans, we are very innovative. But because of the kind of education that we are pumped with when we are growing up, that even the people we are employing now are having challenges. That you bring him, the person has a master's, they have 2 master's degrees, you bring him to work for you, he's asking for a lot of pay, but what he's giving is nothing. Because they know nothing with practical. As Africans and parents out there who are watching me, I should encourage them to bring their children to technical schools, to schools where they can have hands-on information. Let's first do away with a lot of theory. Theory is not helping us. Actually here, I employ graduates. But when I'm employing graduates, I don't even look at their paperwork. I look at what they are going to give me. Manual, how they are going to use their mind to give me the kind of work I need. I need somebody who can think and say, I can think out of my mind to do this. Madam, the goats are getting cold at night. What have you done, you as an African? Get a charcoal stove, put charcoal, put it there and get warm. Instead of lamenting, that is the kind of innovative creativity. Simple things, creating solutions for challenges that are facing us. We don't need the whites to come and help us here. No, we don't.
So what you're saying is that we need to create African solution for Africa's problem.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
How is the demand?
The demand is overwhelming me. I've told you my numbers are around 700.
Yeah.
I have the land, I have the expertise, but I don't have the kind of capital to allow me to push my goats to 3,000 because that is my target. I don't have the demand is overwhelming me. Why they are clocking 700 only, not even 1,000? The demand for the goats is overwhelming me from all over East Africa. That actually currently I'm no longer picking calls from Kenya because I don't have goats to give to them. I don't sell from my numbers. I move around my neighbors. I get the goats, I bring them here because I'm overwhelmed. So what I'm doing, I'm creating outgrowers in my neighborhood to get the kind of goats that I sell to the customers out there.
What has